जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन जग जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन जग जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। मुरली मनोहर करुणा सागर मुरली मनोहर करुणा सागर मुरली मनोहर करुणा सागर मुरली मनोहर करुणा सागर जय गोवर्धन धारी जय गोवर्धन धारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरी हरि जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राम हरे हरे राम हरे हरे जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे जय 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 श्री राधे श्याम. भीमातीरनिवासाय पंढरीपुरवासिने पाण्डुरङ्गप्रकाशाय विठ्ठलाय नमो नमः. मरुत्पुत्राय कवये भीमाय भयहारिणे श्रीमदानन्दतीर्थाय प्रख्याताय नमो नमः. शिवतनयवरिष्ठं सर्वकल्याणमूर्तिं परशुकमलहस्तं शोभितं मोदकेन अरुणकुसुममाला व्याललम्बोदरं तं मम हृदयनिवासं श्रीगणेशं नमामि. कृष्णव्रता कृष्णमनुस्मरन्तः रात्रौ च कृष्णं पुनरुत्थिताये ते कृष्णदेहा प्रविशन्ति कृष्णम्. आज्यं यथा मन्त्रहुतं हुताशे बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनूमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्. चित्रैः पदैश्च गम्भीरैः वाक्यमानैरखण्डितैः गुरुभावं व्यञ्जयन्ति भाति श्रीजयतीर्थवाक्. प्रणमत्कामधेनुं च भजत्सुरतरूपमं श्रीभावबोधकृत्पाद चिन्तामणिमुपास्महे. पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनवे. अन्नपूर्णे सदा पूर्णे शङ्करप्राणवल्लभे ज्ञानवैराग्यसिद्ध्यर्थं भिक्षां देहि च पार्वती. हयग्रीव हयग्रीव हयग्रीवेति यो वदेत् तस्य निस्सरते वाणी जह्नुकन्या प्रवाहवत्. राकाचन्द्रसमानकान्तिवदना नाकाधीराजस्तुता मूकानामपि कुर्वति सुरधुनी. नीकाश वाक्वैभवं श्रीकाञ्चीनगरी विहाररसिका शोकापहन्त्री सताम् एका पुण्यपरम्परा पशुपते आकारिणी राजते. सत्यं विधातुं निजभृत्यभाषितं व्याप्तिं च भूतेषु अखिलेषु चात्मनः अदृश्यत अत्यद्भुतरूपमुद्वहन् स्तम्भे सभायां न मृगं न मानुषं नरसिंहं न मृगं न मानुषं. My humble obeisance to the Lord of Vrindavan and Guruvayur, Shri Krishna, to Sri Rama, the Lord of Ayodhya, to Ma Lakshmi, Ma Saraswati and Ma Sita, to Mahadeva and Ma Kali, to Siddhivinayak Ji Maharaj and Subramanya Swami, to the exemplary devotee Shri Hanumanji, and to all the devotees of the Lord who have gathered here by the grace of the Lord. We start the discourse on the Mahabharata with the traditional prayer. We chant together. Please repeat after me. Narayanam Namaskritya Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam ततो जयमुदीरये नमो धर्माय महते नमः कृष्णाय वेदसे ब्राह्मणेभ्यो नमस्कृत्य धर्मान् वक्ष्यामि शाश्वतान् धर्मो विवर्धति युधिष्ठिरकीर्तनेन पापं प्रणश्यति वृकोदरकीर्तनेन शत्रुर्विनश्यति धनञ्जयकीर्तनेन माद्रीसुतौ कथयतां न भवन्ति रोगाः भक्तवात्सल्यजलधे परमानन्दरूपिणः अस्मदाचार्यराजस्य प्रपन्नास्मि पदाम्बुजम्. By the grace of the Lord, on your behalf, on my own, we first thank Lord Krishna and Rukmini, who is with him. Please give Anita ji a very big hand for having decorated. Mrs. Patel has been decorating the Lord day after day. Today she has brought Rukmini Devi also for the Vivaha of Arjuna and Draupadi. We pray to the Lord that He gives us more and more opportunities for satsanga. Our special thanks to Rajendran and Sujata and all their close friends. Please give them a big hand too. Our sincere thanks to the members of the ISKCON group, the City International Exchange, Mr. Kumar of Caesars Travels, the sponsors of the day, Al Ghanam Tire Center Company, Mr. Ambalavanan and Priya Ambalavanan, the sound system people, Mr. Suresh and Mr. Madhu, and the prasadam is by a group of ladies in Salmiya. Please give them a big hand. We had a lovely session of bhajans with Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam Samiti. Please give them a big hand too. That set the atmosphere for us. We are thankful to them. We pray to Sri Krishna and Rukmini. May this tribe increase. May all these devotees grow from strength to strength, joy to joy, prosperity to prosperity, and may they continue to do the noble work which they have undertaken. My dear devotee listeners, organizing a katha is not a social function. Organizing a katha is inviting the Lord amidst us. Please remember that. I always remember a famous song from Vrindavan, Savare Se Milne Ka. What is a satsang? Oh, it's a way of finding some pretext to meet the Lord. Savare se milne ka satsang hi bahana hai. Savare se milne ka satsang hi bahana hai. Duniya wale kya jaane, are duniya wale kya jaane, रिश्ता पुराना है, दुनिया वाले क्या जाने, ये रिश्ता पुराना है, सावरे से मिलने का. So everyone who contributes tan man dhan se for a satsang is only bringing the Lord amidst you. Please give them a big hand. It's a big effort. I want more and more hands to join so that you may have peace of mind. How many times have I told you? How many times do I tirelessly repeat? We have time for the body. We have time for the mind. Very few of us have time for the soul. This is soul time, my dear listeners. This is soul time. Being a teacher of English, SOULSOL. Time is soul time. This is the time that you need in order to charge your battery. Dr. Nambudi was saying we need to charge the battery. We need to charge the battery of the soul. We have to again and again remember. Mr. Dalbera was also mentioning this evening. It is true that sometimes in the wear and tear of life, we move away from the Lord. Not that we want to, but these reminders bring us closer. My duty as a preacher has always been to be a consistent reminder, constant reminder, commissioned reminder, committed reminder, continuous reminder, convinced reminder. Do you want any more epithets? We're only reminders. All of you know the Bhagavata, all of you know the Ramayana, all of you know the Mahabharata, all of you know the Gita. But what do we preachers do? It is our whole full-time job. It is a complete 24-hour job, 7 days a week. We have no holiday. The preacher has no holiday. All are holy days only, not holidays for us. We only come to tell you, the Lord is there with you. With these words of introduction, we fall in tune with the divine and sing the Govinda Damodara Stotra. Madhava iti. Iti means thus. Ippadi, aise, hige. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Vishnu Madhukaita Bhare Bhaktanukampin Bhagavan Murare Trahir Swamam Keshava Lokanatha Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. 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 Everybody can chant his name, many don't. That's the reason for their problem. That's the reason for their chinta. Navati kachit aho jananam vyasanabhimukhyam jikve pibasva jikve pibasva jikve pibasva vritam yeta deva Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. 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 Once, as I was traveling towards Guruvayur, I said to myself, what are you thinking of, my dear? I'm asking myself. You're thinking of ordinary bonds. Forget them. There's a permanent bond with the Lord, to whom you've been engaged for several births. In every birth you came, and you did not drink water. You drank numberless tears. You heard the katha of the Bhagavatam, and from that time, my life changed, I said, because I heard Rasalila. This devotion to Krishna is such a bandhana that it removes those ordinary bonds from life which are not so fast and brings you closer to devotees and holds you close to them. This is the meaning of the song for those who don't understand Hindi. अरे तोड़ दे ये रिश्ते नाते, भूल जा तू बीती बातें, छोड़ दे ये रिश्ते नाते, भूल जा तू बीती बातें, याद कर ले पुरानी सगाई, तेरे साथ तेरा कृष्ण कन्हई, तेरे साथ तेरा कृष्ण कन्हई। अरे तोड़ दे ये रिश्ते नाते, भूल जा तू बीती बातें,
तोड़ दे ये रिश्ते नाते, भूल जा तू बीती बातें,
याद कर ले पुरानी सगाई, तेरे साथ तेरा कृष्ण कन्हई, तेरे साथ तेरा कृष्ण कन्हई। पानी नहीं पीती रही, अनगिनत आंसू पिए, दुनिया में आकर तूने कितने ही दुखड़े सहे, पानी नहीं पीती रही, अनगिनत आंसू पिए। अरे तोड़ दे ये रिश्ते नाते, भूल जा तू बीती बातें,
तोड़ दे ये रिश्ते नाते, भूल जा तू बीती बातें,
याद कर ले पुरानी सगाई, तेरे साथ तेरा कृष्ण कन्हई, तेरे साथ तेरा कृष्ण कन्हई, तेरे साथ तेरा कृष्ण कन्हई। कथा ने जीवन मेरा बदल दिया, रास की लीला ने जाने कैसा जादू किया, याद कर शुक की कथा ने जीवन मेरा बदल दिया, रास की लीला ने जादू किया। अरे तोड़ दे ये रिश्ते नाते, भूल जा तू बीती बातें,
तोड़ दे ये रिश्ते नाते,
half the time we are worried about people who don't care for us. कर ले पुरानी सगाई, तेरे साथ तेरा कृष्ण कन्हई, तेरे साथ तेरा कृष्ण कन्हई, तेरे साथ तेरा कृष्ण कन्हई। जोड़ दे भक्तों से, तेरी मंजिल तेरे ही आगे। कृष्ण प्रेम ऐसा बंधन जो तोड़ता है कच्चे धागे, जोड़ दे भक्तों से, तेरी मंजिल तेरे ही आगे। अरे तोड़ दे ये रिश्ते नाते, भूल जा तू बीती बातें,
तोड़ दे ये रिश्ते नाते, भूल जा तू बीती बातें,
याद कर ले पुरानी सगाई, तेरे साथ तेरा कृष्ण कन्हई, तेरे साथ तेरा कृष्ण कन्हई, तेरे साथ तेरा कृष्ण कन्हई। जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय the song. It's a reminder to me and to you. Because sometimes we are fretting and fuming about people who don't care for us, when there is an all-caring Lord 24 hours with us. We forget Him. And we are worried, my brother doesn't love me, my father-in-law doesn't love me, my brother-in-law doesn't love me. It does not matter. You're not Mahatma Gandhi that everybody should love you. We are ordinary people with likes and dislikes. So many don't like us. Don't waste your time fretting and fuming over them. Remember the Lord, the bond. That is the bond. The bond between the Jivatma and the Paramatma. That is what every scripture is teaching. And that is what today the Mahabharata is going to tell you. Going back to the text. A beautiful scene opens before you. And the scene is about weddings. Mother Draupadi has now become a beautiful young girl, presentable. All eyes are turned towards her wherever she walks. Today she's being brought into the Darbar hall and she's going to choose her life's companion. I want people to understand that Indian history, Itihasa, Purana, is very modern. Please don't think we just drove girls into marriage against their liking. The Swayamvara proves the freedom that women enjoyed. Clap. You have every right. You have every right to choose your husband. That is why I tell people, don't force children into marriage. Let them also consider. It's not only the man who chooses. The woman can also choose. I don't know whether you remember. An incident I always remember when I was in Calcutta. 3 young girls were brought to me. And all the mothers said, these girls are refusing to marry. I said, my God, now what is the problem? And all 3 of them said, we want to talk to you alone, Amma. We don't want our mothers to be there. I said, well, I keep the secret for you. That's why I won't reveal their names. I said, what is the problem? They said, Amma, these men say they want a pure woman. Why can't we say we want pure men to marry? They're just marrying us off to money bags, Amma. They just want us to marry this billionaire and that billionaire. Nobody knows what his private life is. Why should we marry a man just because of his bank balance? We want to marry good people, Amma. We want to marry good people. I said, yes, you have every right. You have every right to marry. This was the privilege of the princess, that she would be taken around the darbar and her brother or her father, whoever is there, would introduce her to the people around, and she can choose according to the biodata that she hears. She wants to know who is who, from where he has come, and then she offered Sarvarmala to him. One day, says the Mahabharata, Drupada has decided in his heart of hearts, right from the time Draupadi was born, I will give my daughter only to that Arjuna. But we hear Arjuna has been, along with his brothers, burnt in the house of lac. This is what they said. What shall I do? Yajnasenasya kamastu pandavaya kiritini krishnam dadyam iti sada na chaitat vivrunoti saha. He did not reveal it to anybody, but in his heart of heart, he wanted her to marry only Arjuna. That was the purpose why he performed the yajna. And now he keeps so many difficult conditions to follow or fulfill, which means only Arjuna or a person of that stature can fulfill them. So he has decided. So Anveshamana Kaunteyam is looking for that lost Arjuna. Panchalo Janame Jayam Dridam Dhanur Ananamyam Karayamasa Bharatam. A terrible, unsurpassed bow was chosen. Yantrainam Vaihayasam Chapi. Then there was one little machine, a yantra, fixed on the top of the ceiling, of a high ceiling. Karayamasa Kritrimam, artificial target. Tena yantrena samitam Raja Lakshyam Chakharasaha. It was, all of you have seen B.R. Chopra, and you know how difficult it was to hit at that target. There was a little bowl of water, and there was a little ring. You had to see the reflection of the rotating fish in the water and take the huge bow and arrow and shoot at the target through the ring. one impossibility after another impossibility. So everything was difficult and very difficult to concentrate on a moving target and the reflection in a little bowl below. This was the condition he had placed so that he could somehow discover where the long lost Arjuna was. Idam sajyam danukritva sajjairyeebhischa sayakaihi. He who attempts to hit at that target with these arrows will win my daughter. Atitya lakshyam yo vedha salabdha matsutam iti. He who achieved this will get my daughter in marriage. Tat shutva parthiva sarve. Desire has no limits and desire has no logic. Desire does not have qualifications also. I hope you understand. Desire is for everybody. Yedde vanna yaar vanna kekalam. No, it does not matter. Ichha ka to koi limit nahi hota. So here everybody comes, whether he is qualified, disqualified, unqualified, less qualified, not or not, does not matter. Everybody comes. Rishayatya mahatmana swayamvaram didrikshavaha. The rishis came to see what was happening. They wanted to see who fails and who wins. Tatropa vishnan dadrushuhu mahasattva parakraman mahaprasadan brahmanyan swarashtra parirakshinaha. Great kings were also there and the gods in heaven were also there because it's a special wedding. All of us go to weddings. Today weddings are vanity fairs. Showbazi hoti hai. I tell the priest, much to his consternation, that is, he is getting married over and over again. Only he knows the mantras. Nobody else knows. Please teach our children what the marriage mantras are. I'm very happy about a Christian wedding because at least the children understand what promises they are making. Back home in Madras, there's a famous college called the Stella Maris College, a Christian college. And the sociology department invited me to speak on marriage ritual in India. It was like homework for me. I sat and read the Apastamba Sutra and wrote a 2.5-hour page thesis on it. And I delivered it with great eloquence. Not a single girl clapped. I said, what's the problem? They said, Auntie, have we to make so many promises? We don't want to get married. This is how it is. This is how it is. And yet nobody understands. Nobody understands. My dear devout audience, marriage is not an accidental coming together of two people. It's very strange that we have no idea of the concept of marriage. Today, Rajendranji was telling, please tell people about the celebrity couples whose CDs have been introduced by me recently. I chose celebrity couples, 5 of them. One is Harishchandra and his wife Chandramati, Nala and Damayanti, Savitri and Satyavan, Krishna and Rukmini, and Rama and Sita. Because somehow I felt that this concept of marriage has been misunderstood, not rightly interpreted by those who are getting married or who want to get married also. Srimad Bhagavata, Ramayana, and Mahabharata. All these great works tell us what the meaning of marriage is. 1 minute, Kirtan.
Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radharaman Hari Govind Jai Jai Radharaman Hari Govind Jai Jai Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radharaman Hari Govind Jai Jai Radharaman Hari Govind Jai Jai Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai.
When I thought of the celebrity couples, this is the introduction I thought of. Man, who is he? Man by himself is a wonderful creation of God. His talents, his efficiency, his value sense, his faith, even his weakness make him stand out as unique. A further thought comes to one's mind. How lonely would man have been without his spouse? Clap for your wife. What would you do in Kuwait without her? What would you do without her? You do not realize. What a lovely association between man and woman was formed by God and propagated by man. This beautiful institution of marriage is a sensitive subject for discussion. Lend me your ears. Marriages are of several sorts: arranged marriages, disarranged marriages, farcical marriages, marriages of convenience, marriages of exploitation, marriages as Vanity Fair, marriages as heavy crosses borne by either party in sheer despair, marriages which start with passion and end up with divorce, marriages which are genuine commitment between soul and soul, where physical bonds dissolve into spiritual unison. Go home and think about it, both separately and together, and then tell me how you feel about it. I'm a mother speaking to my children. Most of us get married and are so caught up in the whirlpool of life that we have no time to study the concept of marriage. Strange enough, the marriage mantras are understood only by the priest, and the wedding is a social gathering, gala social gathering, or a fashion parade for a rich father, and a suicidal gesture for a poor one, paying an exorbitant dowry, the evil behind such marriages. As time passes on, children are born. The parents are so busy bringing them up that they have scarcely time for themselves. The child should be the strong link between the parents and not a biological, accidental byproduct. I am harsh, but I am true. Not a biological, accidental byproduct. It should be a link between the parents. It is the united effort of the parents to bring forth by God's grace a specimen of human nature, a beautiful flower in the garden called the family. Time passes on, children grow up, and parents grow older and find time only to solve their children's problems. If children go abroad and leave their parents alone, the middle-aged couple mostly find separate pastimes for each other. Clap for those who have come together. If the husband goes to satsang, the wife goes to a card party. If the husband goes to a club, the wife comes to a satsang. If both of them come together, they are graced by God. I hope you understand. If both of them have the same pastime, then the marriage is a strong marriage. The middle-aged couple mostly find separate pastimes for each other. They have receded into shells. They may call these space, but sometimes they are hideouts. I call them vaults, V-A-U-L-T-S, vaults, to bury them alive. That is how most middle-aged couples live, which is wrong. My appeal to all my listeners is to keep the institution of marriage alive. Men are from Mars and women from Venus. Each one has her own lovable identity. Never throttle one's real emotion. Don't be April when you woo and December when you wed. While going home, tell your wife, I love you even now. Promise? Will you say that to her? You said it 25 years back. Please remember, it takes one to seek a divorce, but two to make the marriage survive. It takes one to seek a divorce and two to make the marriage survive. I place before you, in all humility, the history of these couples, each unique in their own way. The best line I like after I wrote it is this: they passed through trials and tribulations, holding hands, weeping and laughing together, forgetting and forgiving each other's faults, only to remain attached to each other. They hold hands together in joy and tighter in sorrow. That is the ideal couple. Did you like the introduction? Think over it. A lot of feeling and thought has gone into it. Because you don't have time. You workaholic men and busy housewives, you have no time to think of the institution of marriage. I, having reached this age, don't ask me how old I am. That's a secret. At my age, I can look dispassionately with clinical objectivity at the institution of marriage and tell my children how to make life happy. God has given you a companion, and this companion with faults and with virtues. Nobody is without faults, and nobody is full of virtues. If all of us were perfect, we would be gods. Shakespeare in his schoolroom said, gods give us faults to make us men. Gods give us faults to make us men. We have weaknesses, does not matter. We'll tolerate each other. We'll love each other, we'll forgive each other. That is the institution of marriage surviving. When I think of this concept of marriage here, it comes to my mind, here is an ideal woman who's going to be married to 5 ideal men. And who is she? Her name is Draupadi. Her entry into the world of the Mahabharata coincides with the entry of Krishna into the world of the Mahabharata. Till now, I have been mentioning Krishna, but Krishna does not enter until this. He is very partial to his friend Arjuna. Pandavanam Dhananjayaha. He loves Arjuna and he loves Draupadi. So he has to be present. Our first introduction to Sri Krishna in the Mahabharata, as such, I'm talking of the Vyasa Mahabharata, it is only in this scene, and we will meet him in a few minutes. Vartamane samaje tu ramaniye anhi shodashe aplutangi suvasanam sarvabharana bhushita. She comes beautifully dressed on the day of the wedding. Naturally, you expect the bride to be beautifully dressed. She's got all the ornaments and she's being brought in. Malam cha samupadaya. The mala is a symbol of choice. Whomsoever she makes this mala, puts it round the head of that particular person, that is her chosen companion. So she takes the mala. Malam cha samupadaya kanchanim samalankritam avakirna tatorangam Draupadi bharatarshabam. Please don't think it's a social function. The great priests have performed the yajnas. The great brahmanas are chanting the mantras. So it is a very spiritually charged choice, not quixotic choice, not capricious choice, not impulsive choice. Our children suddenly fall in love as soon as they enter the college grounds and then don't know whether to marry the person or not. And if they marry, they divorce in 1 year. Because it's an impulsive choice. It's not an impulsive choice. There has been a yajna, there has been a mantra, there has been a blessing, and all the good things around them are happening. And with that background, she's come into the Darbar hall. Santarpayitva jwalanam brahmanan swasti vachyacha varayamasa sarvani vaditrani samantataham. There comes Drishtadyumna, the brother, who's going to make the announcement. And he says, wait. He tells the drummers, stop drumming. I have to make an announcement. Rangamadhye tatastatra mega gambhiraya gira vakyamuchai jagadedam shlakshnam arthavat uttamam. He's speaking words of great ponderous nature. Very deep words, very meaningful words. All of you have heard my master, Sengalipuram Anantaram Dikshitar. You will know the way he used to pronounce these shlokas. Idam dhanurlakshyam ime chabana shrunvantu me bhupatayas sameta chidrena yantrasya samarpayadhvam sharaishitai vyomacharai dashardhai he Guruvairappa, he would say. And all of us knew this was Drishtadyumna entering the arena and saying, this is my sister who has to be won by this particular condition. Idam dhanur lakshyam ime chabana. This is the dhanush. This is the bow. These are the arrows. And that is the target. Shrindvantu me bhupatayas sameta. O kings who have gathered, princes, listen to me. Chidrena yantrasya samarpayadvam. There's a little ring, and the arrow has to go through the ring. Sharai shitai vyomacharai dashardhai. The ceiling is very high. It looks as if the arrow is going into the center of the sky. So high is the ceiling. And you can have 5 chances. You go to games in the exhibitions, you can have 5 chances. So we'll give you 5 arrows. And you can try 5 times. Etan mahat karma karoti yo vai kulena rupena balena yuktaha tasyadya bharya bhagini mameyam Krishna bhavitri namrisha bravimi. He who achieves this great work, this great task, he who is successful, to him I give my sister, the great sister that I have. I never speak lies. But who should he be? Kulena rupena balena yuktaha. He should have other qualifications also. He should be good looking. All of us know the famous maxim in Sanskrit, Kanya varayate rupam. Even if you can't marry a superstar, at least you want a tolerably good looking husband, don't you? You don't want a positively ugly husband. At least on the day of the wedding you say how handsome you are. Please say it again. Your husband will feel happy. By the grace of the Lord, I am presenting my sister to that person who must be born in a good family, who must be good looking, and who must have good qualities. That is important. Kulena rupena balena yuktaha taneva muktva drupadasya putraha paschatidam tam bhagini muvacha namna cha gotrena cha karmana cha sankirtayan bhumipatin sametan. He's taking his sister from person to person. This is so and so. This is Duryodhana. This is Jarasandha. This is Shishupala, and so on. Each one she's being introduced. And the moment they see her, their heart is beating fast. I told you, desire does not have to deserve. No? You want to marry her. Does not matter whether you're qualified or unqualified. We want to marry Draupadi. She's the most eligible, beautiful girl in the world. And everybody wants to. And everybody is competing with the neighbor around him. Parasparam spardhaya prekshamana sankalpajena abhipariplutanga. All of them are struck by Manmatha. All of them have fallen in love with her. She's so beautiful. We want to marry her. We want to marry her. Whether we deserve her or not, it does not matter. We want to marry her. Krishna, Mama, Krishna. She's ours. She's mine, says every king. Krishna mamaivetya abhibhashamana nripa samutpetu atha sanebhyaha. All of them sitting in the asanas. All of them sitting in their respective thrones are saying, Krishna is mine, Draupadi is mine, Draupadi is mine. And then something happened. Focus now. Very easy for my friend B.R. Chopra to direct the movie. The focus now is on the gallery of the Brahmanas. All these men are seated here, and you know who they are. The gallery of the Brahmanas, some people are entering. 5 people are entering. I hope you know the difference between the physique of a Brahmana and the physique of a warrior. The physique of a warrior is very, very outstanding. The man from the military is certainly different from the Pandit who is doing the puja in your house, the Nambudri. Lot of difference between them. Here is the camera focusing on 5 people. How do they look? Bhasma vritangan ivahavyavahan Krishna pradadyau yaduvira mukhyaham Shasham saramaya yudhishtiram saha bhimam sajishnum cha yamau cha virau. Simple words, but creating a terrific dramatic effect. If you're students of drama and theatre, I love drama and I love theatre. I want to represent, I hope you understand, represent the Mahabharata to you in this little auditorium. Quite difficult without a single camera. You understand what the uphill task is. I want you to see how evocative the language, the Sanskrit language is. Who said it's a dead language, my dear listeners? Who said it's a dead language? As the great Pandavas enter, sometimes you go into a gathering and you know some VIP is coming. You want to tell your stupid neighbor, so-and-so is coming. And you tell him, don't look now. Shh. Abhi mat dekho, tirmi pakad hai. They are there. Who? Shh. Withhold your curiosity. They are there. Slowly you have Balramji, whose IQ is always lower than Krishna's, He says, oh God, so nice. I was wondering where they were. Bhasma vritangan ivahavyavahan. They look like fire covered with ashes. What a lovely simile. If fire is covered with ashes, it's still burning. Please remember. It may not be seen, but it can still burn. Bhasmavrutangan iva havyamahan Krishna pradadyu yaduvira mukhyaha Shashamsa Balramji. Yes, Krishna. Shashamsa Ramaya Yudhishtiram Saha Bhimam Sajishnum Chayamau Chaviro. Clap for this language. In one small little shloka, a dramatic event is being described. And what does Balramji do? Shanai Shanai Tan Prasamikshya Ramaha. You should not turn at once, otherwise you will be noticed. Shanai Shanai, Shanai Shanai means slowly. Shanai Shanai Saprasamikshya Ramaha. Having seen all 5 of them, he says, thank you, Krishna. Thank you for bringing them. Because it is they who deserve. It is Arjuna who deserves Draupadi. From the beginning, I know. Janardhanam Pritamana Dadarshaha. Sometimes younger brothers are adored by older ones. This is one such case where the older brother, the elder one, is admiring the younger one. Thank you, sir. Thank you. What is happening now? Ha ha kritam tad dhanusha dridena. Everybody is trying. Everybody is trying. Krishna, nimittam, vinivritta, kamam, rajnyam, tada, mandalam, artam, asit. Many people are trying and many people are failing. Rampant depression. Widespread depression. Who is going to win? Hushed silence. Like the one here. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Everybody is watching. There comes Shishupala. Damaghoshatmajo veera Shishupalo mahadyutihi tadapyaro yat ropyamanam tu mashamatre abhyatalayat. He missed by a grain. By a grain. Oh, there's another failure. Jarasandha comes. Tato, then Duryodhana comes. Tato Duryodhano Raja Dhartarashtra Parantapaha Dhanuraropayamas Tilamatre Abhyatadayat. Just the difference between the target and his arrow is the tila. Small little difference. Uttana Shayyam Apatat Angulyantara Taditaha. Everybody says, what will happen? What will happen? Then Karna gets up. Arjuna's heart is failing. Oh God. Oh God. He has, because he is from the kingly circle. The kingly circle has the first privilege. And if they can't succeed, then the chance passes on to the Brahmanas. So now it is the Kshatriyas who are trying. There comes Karna. And Karna is about to shoot. I hope you know, before shooting at the target, you need concentration. If you're insulted, if you're hurt, then the mind cannot focus. Just when he takes the bow and the arrow, Mother Draupadi says, I will not marry a charioteer's son. That is enough to unnerve him. His hands are trembling. Suppressed anger, righteous indignation. Oh, again, my birth. That is the stigma of my soul. All my life I have been branded because of my birth as the lowest one. And yet he has to try. But you know it's going to be unsuccessful. If you can't concentrate, you cannot hit at the target. Drishtva tutam Draupadi vakyamuchai jagadanaham varayami sutam. He cries out and he laughs, a frustrated laugh. Samarshahasam prasamiksha suryam. He looks at the sun god. I told you, ironical. Whenever he is frustrated, he looks up and he looks at his father, not knowing that the sun god is his father. Strange but sad. Tatyajakarna spuritam dhanustat. Now, it is Arjuna who stands up. All the brothers tell him, you stand up and ask whether Brahmanas have a chance. Are they allowed to try? Arjuna covering his body with the upper cloth. Why? Because the scars of war are the trophies of success. They will expose his identity. Huge arms. Arjuna was known for his long arms. You know from the physique of an athlete that he's an athlete. From the physique of a warrior, you know he's a warrior. And he has such long arms. Everybody knew these are Arjuna's arms. And above all, remember, he has 2 quivers. He's got 2 quivers. And the strap of the quiver leaves 2 brown marks on his shoulders. So everybody will know he is Arjuna. He can't afford to reveal his identity. So he's covering himself with the upper cloth. He stands up very humbly and asks Drishtadyumna, Etad dhanur brahmananam sajyam kartum alam tukim. You think we Brahmins have a chance? Drishtadyumna says, anybody honorable born in any caste, I don't mind. Brahmano va atharajanya, vaishyo va shudra eva va, etesham yo dhanushreshtham, sajyam kuryad vijottamam, tasmai pradeya bhagini, satyamuktam maya vachaha. The moment this is said, anybody born in a respectable family, anybody who has taken to archery as his life and soul, anybody who is successful in this condition, and one who achieves what the others have not, I give my sister to him, whether he is a Brahmana, whether he is a Vaishya, or whether he is a Shudra, it does not matter. What matters is his prowess, says Drishtadyumna. Now comes the time for a little bit of rumination. Whenever I think of Arjuna, my respect for him grows. My dear devout listeners, profession is God. I tell children, while you're studying, don't throw books. When a child throws a book at the other, I said, say sorry, bow down to the book and take it to the other person. Your profession is your study, your reading. My musicians have their musical instruments. They carry them with great love and adoration. There are some people, I will not say who they are, they kick the instrument when they are checking in, They kick the instrument. I said, no, you can't do that. When I pack my Mahabharata, Bhagavata and Ramayana for any journey, I tell all my staff, this is the breadwinner, bow down, bow down. The ashrama runs by my discourses. This is my breadwinner. Respect my breadwinner. You can't throw it like a piece of luggage. No. With great adoration, put it in a bag, safely keep it, because our profession is our God. This is what the Mahabharata teaches you. Tata pacchat mahateja pandavo ranadurjayaha taddhanu parikramya pradakshinam karut. Who can forget the scene? There is the dhanush there. Everybody is looking for the dhanush. Looking at this Brahmin. What is he doing? He is going around the dhanush. Pradakshinam akarut. He goes around the dhanush because that is his profession. And his profession is God. I wrote a short passage for you on Arjuna and proficiency. The Indian scripture has a unique definition. All proficient people are not successful. Proficiency is expertise, but not sufficient. It is a skill. It's a degree of perfection. It's the presence of a talent finding expression. It is the mark of difference between the perfect and the imperfect. It has a history of long years of practice, hard work, and dedication behind it. It is not found in all. Where it is found, it is seen for sure. It is accepted, but not applauded until it gains the pedestal of success. Success is not given to all proficient people. When you got your job, equally qualified people applied. How did you get it? Wait and see. Success is not given to all proficient people. It is not enough only to be proficient. That is not sufficient. One needs to be God-bound, God-word, God-dedicated. Only then you can rise. You accept it or not, it does not matter to me. In the Swayamvara of Draupadi, who is born of sacrificial fire, there are several proficient warriors. Warriors are of the highest order, fascinated by this beautiful princess, eager to win her hand, but unsuccessful therein. Arjuna is a proficient archer. What marks him off as successful is his dedication to, devotion for, and dependence on Krishna. Clear? What marks him off? This proficient warrior called Arjuna, what marks him off is his dedication to, devotion for, and dependence on Krishna. Mahabharata ki katha mahan. Mahabharata ki katha mahan, जिसमें सत्य और धर्म की शान पांडव जीत गए, क्योंकि कान्हा उनके मीत भये। महाभारत की कथा महान, महाभारत की कथा महान, महाभारत की कथा महान। लगा जिन्हें कान्हा सजाने, कभी देखो अर्जुन की प्रीति, कभी सुनो विदुर की नीति, कभी पाए धर्म वीराने, लगा जिन्हें कान्हा सजाने। महाभारत की कथा महान, जिसमें सत्य और धर्म की शान पांडव जीत गए, क्योंकि कान्हा उनके मीत भये। महाभारत की कथा महान, यत्र योगेश्वर कृष्ण यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरा, तत्र श्री विजयो भूतिर् ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम। Give them a big hand. Whatever you're doing, my children, if you want to be successful, think of the Lord. Think of the Lord. Mahatma Gandhi used to say, I can give up my morning breakfast, but not my morning prayer. The first thing we give up is prayer. There's time for the morning news, there's a time for the serial, there's a time for the newspaper. There's time for everything, for the gym, for the morning walk, for everything. But today I can't pray. The first casualty is prayer. 5 minutes. It's not quantitative time, but qualitative time that prayer wants. It can be 1 minute, internet connection. Hi Krishna, good morning. And he says, have a good day. That's enough. That's enough. That is enough. Whatever you do, start with the Lord's name, his thought. That is enough. Arjuna knows Krishna is standing there, but he can't look at him because that will expose his identity. Pranamya shirasa devam Ishanam varadam prabhum Krishnam cha manasa dhyatva Jagrihe charjuno dhanuhum. What a difference between other warriors and Arjuna. Give him a big hand. Give him a big hand. For him it's yoga. Yoga. Yoga means the connection between the Jivatma and the Paramatma. Ramdevji's yoga is physical yoga. All of us can't do at least even 1/10 of the exercises that he does. But then, yoga is from the same Indo-Germanic yuj, yoke. Y-O-K-E, and yuj means yoking, joining. That is yoga. All of us are doing yoga here. Do you know that? We have combined ourselves with the Lord. That is why. Even 1 minute we are not disassociating ourselves from the Lord. This is yoga. Krishnam cha manasa dhyatva. In one moment he is meditating on Krishna. After meditating, what do you remember? Yat karoshi yat ashnasi yat juhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. I tell children, you don't have time because so much homework, so much to do. Children who come for dinner at Sujata's place, they say, 1 page of homework to be done. There's so much to be done. Does not matter. Say Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And your homework will be done fast, my children. It will be done faster than you can. Because efficiency and proficiency comes into the hand which is prayed. That is how you become stronger. That is how you become stronger. Krishnam cha manasa adhyatva jagrihe charjuno dhanuhu. Jagrihe charjuno dhanuhu. The real Gita ideal is God-inspired, God-propelled, God-sustained, God-dedicated activity. I have to repeat for you to remember. The real Gita ideal is God-inspired, God-propelled, God-sustained, God-dedicated activity. When your activity becomes like this, it becomes consecrated. Every day is a puja. Every moment is an offering. Every little act of yours is worship. That is why our whole life becomes divine when you are thinking of the Gita ideal. Today, Arjuna's faith in Krishna is Arjuna's assured success. Please remember that. Arjuna's faith in Krishna, Krishnam cha manasa dhyatva. That is enough. When you bring the Lord into your heart, you have brought the Lord's power into your heart. Naturally, you are different from others. When you become a channel of grace, nimitta matram bhavasavya. Long before Anthony Robbins awakened the giant and your bestseller was sold in several copies, you had the Lord telling Arjuna, become my sheer mere instrument. Nimitta matram bhavasavya. Be my sheer mere instrument. When you become the instrument of the Lord, He shoots, not you. That's why you are successful. Is that clear? Louder clap. That's the lighter side of me. There's a lighter side of me which relaxes. Otherwise you'll be serious all the time. My dear listeners, when you invoke Him, He shoots, not you. That is why you are successful. When does a man achieve the pinnacle of success? When Guru Ayyappa takes over, when Krishna takes over. And we are only instruments in His hands. Neele chat ke piche baitha.
नीले छत के पीछे बैठा जाने मदारी नीले छत के पीछे बैठा जाने कौन मदारी जैसे जैसे नाच नचाए जैसे जैसे नाच नचाए नाचे दुनिया सारी नीली छत के पीछे बैठा जाने कौन मदारी नीली छत के पीछे बैठा जाने कौन मदारी कैसे जैसे नाच नचाए जैसे जैसे नाच नचाए नाचे दुनिया सारी नीली छत के पीछे बैठा जाने कौन मदारी.
How did you like the puppet show? All of us are puppets. We must have the guts to accept that we are puppets. And when do you know that you're a puppet? When you have no ego. I say ego, I see ego, and I say you go. Ego, you go. When ego goes, that's all. All of us can't dance like that, can you? You're doctors, you're architects, you're technicians, you're masters of your own profession, but I'm just a puppet. He makes me talk, he makes me walk, he makes me sing, he makes me dance. I know I am a puppet in His hands, my dear listeners. I know I'm a puppet in His hands. It is His voice, it is His deed, it is His message. I just become the mic, her master's voice. That's all, HMV. When you accept that, you have no ego at all. It takes years and years to remember you're nothing. Years and years. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. Every time I read that shloka of the Gita, after several births, one Mahatma is born who says, I am nothing, Krishna is everything. So many years. 18 chapters for Arjuna to say, Nashto moha smritir labdha tvat prasadat mayachyuta stitosmi gata sandeha Karishye vachanam tava. It took so many years for every Mahatma to realize this. When you become an instrument in his hands, then you have no ego. And when he takes over, there is nothing but success. Success stories are only results of deep conviction. Henry Ford took his friend to his automobile industry long back and showed him the industry. His British friend said, 23 years back you started with nothing. Henry said, no, I started with God. Start with God. Who can start with nothing? The real capital is the Lord. Please remember that. Today, Arjuna has remembered. He has remembered that this is the handwork of the Lord, and he can't achieve what others have not been able to achieve without Krishna's help. Krishnam cha manasa adhyatva jagrihe charjuno dhanuhu yat parthivai rukma sunitha vaktri radheya duryodhana shalya salvai tada dhanurveda parain nrisimhai kritam na sajyam mahatopi yatnat. The great kings who had become the great failures. A catalogue of failures is presented to you. A list of the unsuccessful people is presented to you. What they could not achieve even with great effort. Mahatopi yatnat. Even with great effort, panting and gasping, breathing hard, they could not achieve. That was achieved by Arjuna effortlessly, says the Mahabharata. Effortlessly. Tadarjuno viryavatam tadarpaham tadaindri indravaraja prabhavaha sajyam cha chakre nimishantarena. Nimisha itself is a moment. Within a moment within a moment. Nimishantarena sharam cha jagraha dasharda sankhyan. He is known for his dexterity of wielding arrows. Once in the Mahabharata war, he is going to make a canopy of arrows, I told you. He is known for shooting several millions of arrows in 1 minute. That is one of his great artistic skills, archery skills. Sharam cha jagraha dasharda sankhyan. Dasharda means 5. Dasha means 10. Dasharda means 5. Vivyadhalakshyam nipapata tachya chidrena bhumau sahasati vidham tato antarikshe cha babhuvanadaha samaja madhye cha mahan ninadaha. Everybody started clapping when the target was hit by Arjuna's arrows. Everybody said, well done Arjuna, well done. Pushpani divyani vavarsha deva parthasya murdhni dvishatam nihantu. Here is Partha, a special instrument of the Lord, who has proved by his prowess that he is different from others, that he is a superman, that he is a super archer. This has been proved in the midst of everyone there. Chelani vivyadu tatra brahmana sahasrashaha. When your party wins, you naturally wave your banner, your flag. That's what the Indians do when they win in the cricket team. What were the Brahmins doing? One Brahmin has won. They think it's a Brahmin who has won. So they take their upper cloth and wave the upper cloth, saying, we have won. Adaya shuklam varamalyadama jagama kunti sutamutsayanti. Draupadi takes the mala in her hand and is approaching Arjuna. Somehow in her heart of hearts, she knows this is not a Brahmin. Because from the physique, it doesn't look like a Brahmin. She is smiling to herself. The smile reveals that she knows more than what she says. She has the mala in her hand. Gatva tu paschat prasamikshya Krishna parthasya vakshasya vishankamana. The large chest of this brave hero was fascinating her. Who could it be? She takes the mala. Kshipta tutam parthiva sangha madhye varaya vavre dvijavira madhye. She goes to the Brahmin's part of the gallery and then makes him wear the mala. When I thought of Mother Rukmini giving the mala to Krishna, I got this song, Mala Karo Svikar. Mala Karo Svikar, Prabhu ji meri Mala Karo Svikar. Mala Karo Svikar, Prabhu ji meri Mala Karo Svikar. Mala nahi hai, varmala hai ye. Mala nahi hai, varmala hai ye. राधा जी की भी जीवन माला है ये.
राधा जी की भी जीवन माला है ये.
माला करो स्वीकार, प्रभु जी मेरी माला करो स्वीकार. माला करो स्वीकार, प्रभु जी मेरी माला करो स्वीकार. जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे श्याम. Many people wonder, is Draupadi a pure woman? Is she not committed to 5 men? A few minutes later, that particular scene is going to be presented. Right at the beginning, the Mahabharata tells you who is she and how is she. She is compared to all the great women of our scriptures. Shachi cha devendram athagni devam swaheva lakshmi cha yatha mukundam usheva suryam madanam rativa maheshwaram parvata rajaputri ramam yatha maithila rajaputri dami yatha rajavaram nalam hi shachi cha devendram athagni devam swaheva lakshmi cha yatha mukundam. The great couples of the world, she is compared, she and Arjuna are compared to the great couples of the world. Shachi cha devendram athagni devam swaheva lakshmi cha yatha mukundam. Just as Mother Shachi, Devi Shachi follows Indra, just as Swaha follows the great Agni Deva, just as Lakshmi follows Mukunda, Krishna, Narayana, just as Usha follows the sun god, just as Rati follows Madana, Cupid, just as Parvati follows Maheshwara, just as Maithili, Sita follows Rama, just as Damayanti follows Nala, similarly Draupadi followed Arjuna. This is the list of Pativratas. At the time of the wedding, if you remember these Pativratas, they're blessing you. These Pativratas and these great couples are blessing us. No wonder in the Sundarakanda of the Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana, Mother suddenly remembers, Mother Sita remembers all the great Pativratas. And having remembered the Pativratas, she sees Hanumanji, says the commentary. When you remember Pativratas, when you remember good people, when good thoughts come to you, you read the book called The Secret. You read the bestseller called The Secret. And what does The Secret say? The law of attractions. Positive thoughts you to attract. It is as old as the Ramayana. Please give it a big hand. Positive energy, positive. Everything east has gone west. Everything in the east has gone west and come with a wrapper from the west. Very down-to-earth announcement. The car Mazda 5617 is blocking the entrance gate. From the sublime to the secular. The Mazda car 5617 is blocking the entrance gate. Please oblige. I need 1 minute kirtan to come back to my mood. From the Mazda.
Jaya Nanda Nanda Gopala Ananda Nanda Gopala Jaya Nanda Nanda Gopala Ananda Nanda Gopala Jaya Nanda Nanda Gopala Ananda Nanda Gopala Jaya Nanda Nanda Gopala यदुनन्दनन्द गोपाल जय नन्दनन्द आनन्दनन्द यदुनन्दनन्द गोपाल जय नन्दनन्द गोपाल आनन्दनन्द गोपाल जय नन्दनन्द गोपाल आनन्दनन्द गोपाल.
Just as these great celebrity couples are described, so also Arjuna and Draupadi were now leaving the court. Satam upadaya vijitya range dvijati vistai abhipujyamanaha rangan nirakramat achintya karma patnyataya chapi anugamyamanaha. That was the rule of those days. The moment a man won a wife by his prowess, she had to follow him. Unquestioning, she had to follow, because that was the condition laid. And as he is moving away from the court, there's a big turbulence. People are not accepting. People don't want to. Everybody says, how can this happen? How can this happen? Vipriyam parthivendranam naishavadya katanchana brahmanartham hino rajyam jeevitam cha vasunicham. The Brahmanas have a very important role to play. How can anybody attack the Brahmanas? When Drupada is attacked, the Pandavas come to his rescue. Drupadam tujigham santa sayudha samudhatravan. All those angry kings wanted to kill Drupada for the wrong decision that he had taken, which is wrong. Once you come into a court, you have to follow the rules. They are the rules of the game, and you have no right to disagree with what the rules of the game are. When you enter the contest, naturally you sign that you agree to all the rules and conditions of the contest. You can't now disagree. It was very unethical on their part. And what did our great Bhima do? Tatastu Bhimo Adbhuta Bhima Karma Mahabalo Vajra Samanasaraha Utpatya Dobhyam Drumameka Viraha Nishpatrayamasa Yatha Gajendraha. Bhima gets angry that nobody can control him. He uproots one tree, gives it one shake, and when he shakes it, all the leaves fall down. You can imagine how he must have shaken it. Nishpatrayamasa. No? It's a leafless tree. Arjuna says, stop, brother, stop. This is enough to expose you. Everybody knows that only Bhima can uproot a tree and shake it leafless. Please clap for him. Imagine, not a single leaf on the tree. With what power and tension he must have done it. The next thing that he does is roaring. That roar of Bhima can expose him. Arjuna says, no roaring now. No crying aloud. We are exposing ourselves. Tada abravid jishnu rudara karma ma simhanadam kuru purvajeha. Anna, elder brother, no simhanada, please. No roaring, no roaring. Tatakkarno mahateja jishnum pratiyayo rane bhimasenam yayo shalyam madranam ishvaro bali. Already there is so much fighting going on there because of one woman, the beautiful woman who has been won by prowess. When Karna follows Arjuna and gets defeated by him, he's asking him, who are you? Because he sees the Brahmin's garb and him covered with the upper cloth. Kim tvam sakshat dhanurveda ramo va viprasattama. Are you archery incarnate, the embodiment of archery? Or are you Parashurama? Atha sakshat harihaya. Are you Kartavirya Arjuna? Who are you? Nahi mam ahave kruddham anyas sakshat shachipate. Only few people can confront me on the battlefield. One of them is Indra, the other is Arjuna. Who are you? But I know that Arjuna has been burnt in the house of lac. Dagdha jaturgahe grihe sarve pandavas Arjuna tada. Or are you Lord Shiva? Who are you, my dear? Arjuna says, Nasmi karnat dhanurveda, Nasmi Rama pratapavan, Napi Vishnu na devendra, Brahmano astrapratam varaham. I just want one word from you. Say you are defeated. That is enough for me. Say you are defeated. Nirjitosmi itiva bruhi, tato vrajayatha sukham. I leave you. I let you go alive if you say, I am defeated. Karna says, I am defeated. I don't know who you are. anonymous warrior about whom I have not heard or seen. I tell you, iti mattva dhrutam karna shibirayam jagamaham yeva keva namastebhya gacchamasva puram vayam. Whoever they are, God knows who these people are. They look like Brahmins, but they are so brave. From where did they come? Out of the blue, they have shot into the limelight. Who are they? Whoever they are, I bow down to them, he says, and he's gone. Now, Vaishampayana describes the Pandavas going back home. Whenever a wedding takes place, the moment the Kanyadanam is over, the father and mother are happy. Only the brother is curious to know how his sister is being treated in that house. Only Drishtadyumna says, who could these people be? From where did this unknown Brahmin come? Where is he taking my sister, my princess sister, my royal sister? Where is she going with these people? What is their background? So very secretly he's going to follow them. Gatva tutam bhargava karmashalam. It is the potter's house. Partho pratam prapya mahanubhavo tam yagnasainim parama pratito bhikshetyatha vedayatam naragreu. Now comes the most controversial part of the Mahabharata. Mahabharata has several questions and several answers also. Please remember, it's a Panchama Veda. And a Panchama Veda cannot contain anything adulterous where the heroes are concerned. As they go and stand before the cottage door is closed. And from outside they say, we have brought a bhiksha. We have brought a fruit. And the mother from within says, as usual, share it. You've always shared the fruit that you have brought, the bhiksha that you have brought. Kuti gata satu anaviksha putrau. She has not seen them. Provacha bhunkteti sametya sarve. Paschatcha kunti prasamiksha krishnam. When the door opens and she finds a beautiful girl standing there, she says, oh God. Kashtam maya bhashitam ityuvacha. What did I say? It is then Drishtadyumna who is standing in hiding says, my God, this is Kunti and the 5 Pandavas. What is happening? My sister has entered a great royal household. That is what my father wanted. Drishtadyumnastu panchalya prishtato prishtatak kurunandanau anvagachantada partho bhargavasya niveshane tatastu Kunti drupadatmajam tam. You will share her, says Kunti. It's a very strange world, my dear listeners. If a man has 5 wives, you don't call it adultery. If a woman has 5 husbands, you call it adultery. You can't accept it, isn't it? It's a male-ridden society. What does it mean? She's not up to any adultery. She's not promiscuous. Please remember, she is not a maternity ward product. She was born out of fire. She's a concept of chastity being shared by 5 eminent stalwarts. Please remember that. She's not a person. That is why every time she lives with one person, she's virgin all over again. She has the capacity to make herself a virgin all over again. Above all, my dear listeners, if she was not pure, Krishna would not be her constant companion, immiscible companion. The woman is pure. I call Draupadi as Bhakti and the Pandavas as the ideal husband with 5 powers. Dharma standing for righteousness, Arjuna standing for intelligence, Bhima standing for valor, Nakula and Sahadeva standing for agriculture and business acumen. They are the 5 powers in man. The 5 ideal powers in the ideal man, and Mother Draupadi as the concept of bhakti married to them. It is not enough to be proficient. It is necessary to have a companion called devotion. That is how Mother Kunti has asked this fruit to be shared by all of them. And they live not all together with her, but 1 year after the other. One man possesses her as wife, and all the other 4 are allowed to respect her as the wife of the brother. Even by chance, if someone enters the bedchamber of that brother during that 1 year, he has to go on a pilgrimage. This happens to Arjuna. In a few minutes, I will tell you how they follow the rules that are set for them by the great sages. Mother Kunti is advising the daughter-in-law. I don't know how many daughters-in-law are prepared for advice. But if you have a mother-in-law like Kunti, she will advise. I appeal to the daughter-in-law who is entering her mother-in-law's home. Your first duty is to hold the family together and not break it. How feeble is your clap? How many homes do you want to break? The daughter-in-law has to hold the family together. And when can you do it? When you give more than you demand more. Please remember, you give more. Go to give, and then you will rule. Once you start giving, you will become the queen of the house. But our daughter-in-laws go with demand and end up with a split. There are daughters-in-law who say the first condition is that your parents should not live under our roof. What a lovely condition. No. And the parents were waiting. They were waiting for the grandchild. They were waiting for the daughter-in-law. They were waiting for a home which will be looked after by their children and their children's children. Mother Kunti is advising Draupadi. Please listen to this advice. Only a great woman like Draupadi can listen to this advice. Tatastu Kunti Drupadatmajam tam uvacha kale vachanam vadanyam tato agramadaya kurushva bhadre balim cha vipraya cha dehi bhiksham balim cha vipraya cha dehi bhiksham. Only this afternoon, Rajendran was telling me, talk to the audience about Kshetrapasana, what you're doing there. My dear listeners, I have grown from square one. About 20 years back, I was at the nadir of life. Everybody has his nadir of life. I was also there. Scarcely having one meal a day. You can't believe that. The Lord saw me through it, and through it successfully because of my bhakti, nothing else. My unshakable faith in the Lord. And where did I get it from? Not from supermarkets or libraries. I got it from my masters, Mahabharata, Bhagavata, and the Ramayana. The more and more I read, the more and more strength I gathered. I said, I'm not a weakling. I am not a weakling. I was born to my master, and he is strength, so I must be strong. The little child Prahlada in the Narayaniyam is asked by his father, I try to kill you and you don't die. What is your strength? Balam me vaikunta tavacha jagatam chapi sabalam sayeva trailokyam sakalamiti dhiro yam magadit. He is my strength, he is your strength, he is the world's strength, and yet in depression we think we have no strength at all. Be strong, my dear listeners, be strong. From where did you learn these lessons? From great men and women of the epics. The Mahabharata is a speaking lesson for me. She's telling her, dear Draupadi, keep up the tradition of the family. This is what most of our girls forget. The moment you have a daughter-in-law entering, she says, I want to cut down expenses. Cut down expenses means cut down charity. Very sad. Our children don't know that to give is to grow. Will you remember that? To give is to grow. Many people, I'm sure, a lot of speakers like me come, lot of functions go on, and everybody comes to you for Guru Dakshina, and you say, sorry, the budget is tight. The budget is not tight. The heart is tight. I hope you understand. The budget is never tight. If you take out 10% of your earning every month for charity, you will be as rich as Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, my dear listeners, as rich. But please take out. Clap louder. Not for me. Any good person. Dunya ye samjhe hum lene ko aaye bhaiya, usko samjha do hum dene ko aaye. Please remember, we don't come with begging bowls. We are only channels for your charity. Make use of us to grow. Please remember that. We are not beggars. We are not beggars. I want you to remember that the bhiksha that we give is only to make us grow. The more and more I gave, the more and more I gave, I grew. And today in the ashram, we are feeding 500 people every day, my dear listeners. 500 people every day. Don't ask me how. My auditor asked me, what is your cash flow? I said, stupid fellow, I will tell you what my grace flow is. Don't ask me what my cash flow is. Ask this man, Lakshmipati. Ask him what his bank balance is. How do I know what his bank balance is? I want you to remember the first thing that Kunti told her daughter-in-law is, don't stop charity. The little that we beg and have for ourselves, keep a part of it for charity. Go out. Go out into the balcony. Go out into the veranda. Go out into the portico. And find out if some hungry person is waiting for his meal. Feed him and then come back. We don't even think of our neighbor. Even if there's a death in the neighbor's family, in the house, even if there's a baby born in the neighbor's house, can't you cook one day's meal and give? Have you to say, he can order from the caterer? Why can't you have a human touch? Why don't you have a human touch? You don't know. You feed one here and your son overseas will be fed forever. Please remember that. Somewhere the action and the reaction will go on. The cycle of charity goes on, my dear listeners, goes on and on. The Bhagavata, the Ramayana, the Mahabharata are teaching us, Balim cha vipraya cha dehi bhiksham. Take out a portion for bhiksha. Ya channam icchanti dadasvatebhyah. Those who ask for food, give them food. Hunger is a stark reality. I went through that. I went through the problem of hunger. I told you, sometimes I didn't have one full meal a day. I had to drink water. To have 5 dosas at home was a luxury. Today, all of you can have dosas without my permission. The Lord has given us so much. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how we have grown. The katha has grown. The kindness of people has grown. The grace of God has grown. Those who ask for anna, give them anna. Parishritaye parito manushya tatascha shesham pravibhajya shigram. First give charity. And then what remains? Ardham chaturnam mamachatmanascha. Then whatever remains, make it into half. And one half give it to Bhima because he is hungry. He is hungry. He cannot tolerate a small morsel. Ardham cha bhimaya cha dehi bhadre yayesha nagarshab tulya rupaha. He's like an elephant. So he eats a lot. I didn't know elephants eat so much. I went to a zoo once and met a 2-day elephant, 2-day-old elephant. And he was eating 10 kilos of rice. God bless him, I said. Only 10 kilos. One big vessel and big round morsel, and happily is eating. I said, my God, this is how poor Bhima must have eaten from his childhood. Look at the way half of it is given to him. And then, Gauro yuva samharano pavannaha yesho hi biro bahubhuk sadaiva. The rest of it, you, myself, and the 4 Pandavas, we will eat. Treat Madri's sons like my sons. Just as you treat Arjuna, Yudhishthira and Bhima, treat Nakula and Sahadeva. Drishtadyumna is watching from the window, unseen. You know, when you have children at home, the youngest one make the bed if you're sleeping on the ground. That is general tradition. The youngest one was making the bed. Kushaistu bhumau shayanam chakara madri putra Sahadeva tapasvi. He's a tapasvi. Sahadeva is known for his tapas. I don't know whether you are aware. Sahadeva is an astrologer. He is very good at astrology. And those of you who know about astrology must know that astrology is half deduction, half calculation, and half deduction. Calculation is the same with everybody. The deduction depends on your own upasana and sadhana. That is why people can tell you what has happened, but the future they can't predict perfectly, unless they are upasakas, unless they are sadhakas. And Sahadeva was a bhakta. One day Shakuni is asked by Duryodhana, Mamaji, I want to know the right date for starting the war to win the war. Shakuni says, very simple, go for an astrological consultation. Duryodhana says, whose business card do you have? Who is the astrologer? Find him on the internet. You want to know who the astrologer is? Yes, Mamaji, go to Sahadeva. Duryodhana says, are you in your right senses? Does one go to the enemy and ask him, what is the right date to start killing you? No. give me an auspicious moment to kill you. Shakuni says, Pandavas are so stupid and so committed to their profession that they will even give their death date to you. Don't worry. Go to Sahadeva. And there comes Duryodhana to Sahadeva and says, Sahadeva. Sahadeva gets up. Although they are enemies, great reverence because he is the eldest brother. Yes, Suryodhanji, what can I do for you? I want you to tell me the right date to start for us to be successful in war. Sahadeva is looking into the Panchangam, into the almanac, and the Lord is standing there and hitting his head against the wall. What will I do with my stupid, common sense-less devotees? Is this the time for consultation? And he tells Suyodhana, the right day is Amavasya. The right day is the new moon. And Suyodhana is very happy and he's going away. And as he's going away, the Lord comes and says, Sahadeva? Yes, Swami. What was happening? Just astrological consultation. Who was the client? Suyodhana. What was the question? What is the right day to start the war to make them successful? And what did you say? I told him new moon, according to his horoscope, the new moon is the right day to start the war. I see, you had to tell him the truth and nothing but the truth. He says, Lord, astrological consultation has to be honest and true. One can't juggle with words. I had to be honest about it. The Lord says, you stupid fellow, you say new moon, I will change the new moon for the world, says the Lord. Only the Lord can do it. And one fine day, the Lord takes a kamandalu and he takes kusha grass and is walking up and down. My master Dikshar used to say, very funnily, he is walking up and down. Everybody says, today is not Amavasya. But if Krishna is carrying the kamandalu and the darba, it must be Amavasya, start the war, Only the Lord can do it. Just to tell you that Sahadeva is one of those adorable Pandavas who is known for his tapas. Time comes just before the war, which I'll take up for consideration next year, God willing. It is asked by the Lord, how to stop the war? How to stop the war? Sahadeva says, very simple. Shave the head of Draupadi. Because she's taken a vow that she will not tie her hair. Shave it off. There won't be any war. There is a second alternative. What is the second alternative? Arrest you, Krishna. Put you behind bars because you are not making peace. You are going to make war, my Lord, because you want war. You want war. W-A-R, war. You are for it. You are pretending to go to make peace, but your heart of hearts, your paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya dushkritam dharma samthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. The Lord says, can you put me behind bars? Sahadeva goes into deep meditation and arrests the Lord in his heart. The Lord says, release me, Sahadeva. I am bound by my bhaktas. I am bound by my bhaktas. Bhaktum ki jai. Bhaktum ki jai, Bhagavan ki jai. Bhaktum ki jai, Bhagavan ki jai. Bhakti ki adbhut mahima ki jai, 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 jai. Bhakti ki
adbhut mahima ki jai, 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 jai.
Bhaktum ki jai, Bhagavan ki jai. Bhaktum ki jai, Bhagavan ki jai. Jai, jai, Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Krishna Karnamrita says, you want to tie that little naughty elephant called Krishna? We'll give you 3 places, 3 zip codes where you can find him. Ulu Khalamva, Yaminam Manova, Gopangananam Kuchakutmalamva, Murarinam Nakkalabhasya Nunam, Alanamasitrayameva bhumau. Only 3 places where you can tie that naughty little elephant called Krishna. One is the mother's pounding stone, Ulukhala, or the mind of the yogis and the heart of the gopis. 3 places where you can bind him. 3 places where you can tie the Lord. He's tied forever. That is Sahadeva, the tapasvi. He has made the bed of kusha grass. Athatmakiyan yajitani sarve samstirya virya sushupuddharanyam. They are lying on the ground. My dear children, life takes us through several vistas. It takes us through several experiences. Accept life. Do not fret, do not fume. Pandavas were born for luxury, and yet they could go through penury. They could sleep on the ground, on the kusha grass. And as they are sleeping, a little bit of Vastu Shastra for you. Put the head in the south and face the north. That is the way to sleep. Most people put their head to the north and face the south. South is the direction of Yama. You will drain your energy. When you get up, you will be weak, absolutely weak. Agastya kantam amito disham tu shiram sitesham kuru sattamanam kunti purastat. Mother Kunti is sleeping near their head, and near their feet, Mother Draupadi is sleeping. Padantare jata babhuva Krishna. From the window, Drishtadyumna is wondering, who are they? What are they speaking? One woman with 5 sons. Who are they? And when he hears Brahmanas talking about warfare, Brahmanas talking about weapons, Brahmanas who are conversing about military strategy, he says, oh God, now I know who they are. Te tatra shura kathayam babhuvuhu katha vichitra prutanadhikara. Drishtadyumna is shocked. He runs to his father. Rajaputrastu sarvam vrittam tesham kathitam chaivaratro sarvam ragne drupadaya kilena nivedayishyan tvarito jagama. Next morning, Drupada sends for them. He says, now I should recognize them. They are not ordinary Brahmins. They are not people to be who are non-entities. They are celebrities. They are Panduputras. And so he sends them. He sends them beautiful chariots, and all of them come beautifully dressed now. All the dowry that he has sent for them, they come beautifully dressed, says the Mahabharata. And when they are clad in their own dress, they are walking in a different way, not like the Brahmanas now. There's a royal gait about them. Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva. That is how they come. Te tatra veera paramasaneshu. They are seated in the darbar. Sapada piteshu ashiving avishankamana. They've got footstools also. There they were sitting like ordinary Brahmanas. Now they are sitting in a royal manner with their feet on their footstool. Yathanupurvyat vivishuk naragnya tatha maharheshu na vismayantyaha. Now they are not afraid. Now they are not dismayed. They are looking absolutely normal, and they know how to carry themselves as princes of the highest order. And they are sitting there. Yudhishthira says, Rajan, don't worry. We are the Pandavas. We were saved from the house of lack. Ma Rajan vimana bhutvam panchali pritirattu me. Panchalya pritirattu me. Please don't mistake us. We have no desire to sin in the world. Don't think we are sharing one woman. I am dharmic by nature. I have never done anything adharmic in my life, nor do I ever propose to do anything adharmic. Only Yudhishthira can say that. Yudhishthira and Rama many times are compared by commentators. Sri Rama says, never have I told a lie, nor do I wish to tell a lie in the future. Mother Sita also gives him a character certificate. Similarly, Yudhishthira says, Name vak anratam praha. I have never told a lie. Na adharme dhyate matihi. My mind will never be inclined to anything sinful. Imagine a man saying that. How pure he must be. There are 4 Punya Shlokas in our scriptures. Punya Shloka is one who is pure. Punya Shloka is one who enters a place and plenty and prosperity descend upon the place. Punya Shloka is one who can make everybody unhappy happy. Punya Shloka is one who can give the blessings to so many women that those who have not had children will have children. Where there is no prosperity, there will be prosperity. Where there is no rain and there is only famine, there will be rain and prosperity. That is the meaning of Punya Shloka. Punya Shloko Nalo Raja, Punya Shloko Yudhishthiraha, Punya Shloka Cha Janaki, Punya Shloko Janardanaha. As children of 10, we used to sit before our master Dikshita, and he in his inimitable way would say, Punya Shloko Nalo Raja, Punya Shloko Yudhishthiraha, Punya Shloka Cha Janaki, Punya Shloko Janardana He Guru Vairappa, he would say, and all of us learn this shloka. Who is a Punya Shloka? My dear children, Develop your values to such an extent that you become a Punya Shloka. People touch you, they should be purified. People chant your name, they should be purified. People think of you, they should be purified. That is how Punya Shloka is. In the Virata Parva, Yudhishthira, he's an employee. He's an entertainer. He plays dice with the king, Virata. And when, Arjuna has won the battlefield, and he's coming back triumphant, King Virata says, no, my son won. And his son is a veritable coward. One who has not seen a battlefield even in his dreams. Such an Uttara Kumara is coming back. He is not triumphant. It is Brihannala. It is Arjuna who is clad in a ghagra choli. He is clad in a blouse and skirt. He is coming back. And you have Virata saying, my son won, my son won. And Yudhishthira says, no, Brihannala won. The dance master won. The dance master. No. It's a eunuch. How can you say he could have won? No, the dance master won. There comes the fury from the heart of Virata, and he takes the dice and throws it on the forehead, and the nose starts bleeding, says the Mahabharata. And when the drop of blood is about to fall on the ground, Mother Draupadi, who's watching from hiding, comes straight with the edge of her sari and holds the blood from touching the ground. The king says, what is the relationship between my unknown maid and my unknown entertainer? She says, shut up. Don't ask me questions. If this good man's blood falls on your ground, you will have famine for 12 years. That is the Punya Shloka. I'm preventing national calamity for you. He's Punya Shloka. And Virata trembles. Oh God, are these the celebrities called the Pandavas, whom I treated as employees for a whole year, 12 months? I treated them like employees, not knowing that they're stalwarts. Yudhishthira, Bhima, Nakula, Sahadeva, Arjuna, Draupadi. A woman who had 5,000 maids was working as a maid servant in Sudakshina's home. Just to tell you how this Punya Shloka is. This man called Yudhishthira is telling Drupada, don't mistake me. We never commit sin. We are known for our absolute adherence to ethics. Itni shakti hame dena data.
इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। हम चले नेक रास्ते पे हमसे भूल कर भी कोई
let us not commit a mistake by mistake.
रास्ते पे हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना।
इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना।
To go on the right path, you need God's grace. And Yudhishthira says, Athadvaipayano Rajan Abhyagachat Yadrichaya. There comes Vyasa Muni. Vyasa is the chorus. Vyasa is the chorus, the commentator, who will tell you why this happened. In her former birth, this lady was Nalayini. Nalayini was married to Maudgalya. Maudgalya Rishi ill-treated her a lot and was going away from the world. When she says, no, I want sensuous delight. And she prayed when her husband abandoned her. She prayed to Lord Shiva, Prasida Bhagavan Mahyam, Namam Utsrishtam Arhati, Avitruptasmi Brahmarshe, Kamanam Kama Sevanat. I have not been physically satisfied in the world. As a husband, you have to satisfy me physically. She says, Maudgalya says, no. You will be born as Panchali in your next birth. Bhavishyasin rulokesmin Rajaputri Yashaswini Panchala Rajasya Suta Drupadasya Mahatmanaha Indrasena Tatashambhum Varam Vavre Samahita. We should be very careful when we are praying. Because while we are praying, we may be granted a boon. And we should ask the right thing. I don't know how many of us have our ready-made answers. If God says, what do you want? You will be totally zapped. You won't know what to ask. So please keep a ready-made answer. At least keep it in your laptop. No? At least you'll know. When God says, what do you want? Press the button and say, this is what I want. Because suddenly you can't think. And you may be confused. And you may be vague about what you want. Unfortunately for her, when the Lord Shambhu appeared, she says, Patim Dehi, Patim Dehi, Patim Dehi, Patim Dehi, Patim Dehi. 5 times she asked. Indiscretion. When you are doing sadhana, don't be indiscreet. Be careful. You're walking on thin ice. Unfortunately, like 5 copies of a Xerox machine, She asked, Patim Dehi, Patim Dehi, Patim Dehi, Patim Dehi, Patim Dehi. Excitement. Patim Dehi once would have been enough. That is what the gopis did. That is what Rukmini did. They asked only for Krishna and got only Krishna. Unfortunately, in her excitement, she asked 5 times. And the Lord said, you're going to pay for this excitement and imbalance. You're going to have 5 husbands. But because you're a pure woman, you'll be retaining your purity. Draupadya dharmataschaiva drishtametat puranaga tatastute kaurava rajaputra vibhushita kundalina suvesha maharha vastra varachandra chandanokshita krutabhisheka krutakautuka priya. They had all the lovely ornaments given to them, the best dress given to them, the best makeup for them with chandana and everything. Tatas samadaya saveda paraga juhava mantra jwalitam hutashanam yudhishtiram chapyupaniya mantravit niyojayamasa sahaiva krishnaya pradakshinam tau pragrihita pani samanayamasa saveda paraga vipram tu santarpya yudhishtiro dhanaihi gobhischa ratnaischa vividhaischa purvam. Yudhishthira is Vidhivat, married to, now Draupadi says the Mahabharata, Jagraha Panim Naradeva Jaya Dhaumyena Mantri Vidhivat. Everywhere in the Mahabharata, Dharma is important. And from the heavens, there came the shower of flowers. Tato Antarikshat Kusumani Petuhu Vavau Chuvayu Sumanognya Gandaha. Everywhere there was fragrant breeze blowing everywhere because it was a happy occasion. Evam vivaham kritvate Veera Drupada Veshmani Ushut Sarve Yatha Punyam Kritavanto Antarikshaga. All of them are spending some time in the household of Drupada. Now, when these are spending their time, word spreads fast and goes to Hastinapura. The Pandavas are alive. It was Arjuna who won. It was Arjuna who won. He is the one who came as an unknown Brahmin. And he is the one who won in the conditions laid down by Drishtadyumna and Drupada. Everybody is wondering, what shall we do to the Pandavas? Pandavas should be killed, says Shakuni. Pandavas should be attacked, says the brothers, the Kaurava brothers. At that time, people are wondering, let us try, what are the ways of destroying them? First, we'll try to make them hate each other. Impossible. Karna, Duryodhana, Dushasana, Shakuni. This is the high-level committee for conspiracy. Dushasana, Duryodhana, Karna and Shakuni. Second, let us go and attack Drupada's country. Third, let us make Draupadi the bone of contention. Next, let us kill Bhimasena. Next, let us try to entice them to bad ways. All the 5 are impossible. What happens now? What happens now? Kunti is telling Vidura to Vidura, tell me Vidura, what will happen to my children? Vaichitra viryate putra kathanchit jivita tvaya tvat prasada jatu grahe mrita pratyagata tatha. Vidura, you saved me and my children from the burning house of lack. I don't know how to thank you. It says, enough, mother, enough. Na vinashyanti lokeshu tava putra mahabala. Not now, Kunti. Never will your children be destroyed in the world because the Lord protects them till the end. Nobody can kill them. Achirenaiva kalena swarajyastha bhavanti te tataste samanujñata drupadena mahatmana पाण्डवाच्चैव कृष्णश्च विदुरश्च महामती आदाय द्रौपदीं कृष्णाम् कुन्तीं चैव यशस्विनीं सविहारं सुखं जग्मु नगरं नागसाक्वेयं. They come to the Hastinapura. When they come, I told you of that terrible meeting between Gandhari and Draupadi. Whenever you have a new daughter-in-law at home, if some elderly lady has not come for the wedding, you take your child and ask her to do pranama, namaskara to the elderly lady. Kunti takes Draupadi, my daughter-in-law, Gandhari. My daughter-in-law has come because she's blindfolded. She says, Gandhari, Duryodhanasya Mahishi, Kashi Rajasuda tada, Dhritarashtrasya Putranam, Vadubhis Sahita tada. Even Duryodhana's wife, Bhanumati, all of them were there. Panchalim Pratijagrah, Sadhvim Shriyamivaparam. She looked like another Lakshmi. So beautiful. All new brides look beautiful. And for quite some time they wear all the jewelry. They wear all the new clothes because you know it's a new bride. A new bride. And that is how Panchali has been taken. But something scary happens. Something that shakes you out of your euphoria. Vavande tatra Gandharim Krishnaya saha Madhavi. Kunti bows down and says, Draupadi, you also bow down to Gandhari. She is Dhritarashtra's wife. Ashishascha prayuktvatum panchalim parishasvaje. Naturally you hug. You hug the new daughter-in-law. The moment she hugs, Gandhari says, Vidura, take her away. Her vibrations breathe negativity for my children. She spells death. She breathes death. Putranam mama panchali mrutyureva manyata sanchintya viduram praha yuktita subalatmaja. Take her away, Vidura, take her away. Pando nivesharam shigram niyatam yadirotate. Vidura realizes. Vidura is also a person with foresight and farsight. He is a Pradhana Mantri. A Pradhana Mantri has foresight and farsight. If Gandhari is not happy, is not in tune with the vibrations of Draupadi, something is wrong. Something is going wrong. Panduna vardhitam rajyam, Panduna palitam jagat. After you meet Gandhari, you're going to meet Dhritarashtra and you'll see how this old man is up to fresh mischief tomorrow. May the Lord fulfill all your dharmic desires. Please bless me as long as I live. Let me carry this message of faith and grace wherever I go. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdaraha, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir Druvani Tirmatir Mama. Narayana, 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 Narayana,
Narayana, Narayana,
Narayana, Bolo.
Narayana, Narayana, Narayana,
Narayana, Narayana, Narayana,
Narayana, Narayana,
Narayana, Krishna, Narayana,
Narayana, Narayana,
Narayana, Narayana, Narayana, Narayana,
Narayana, Narayana,
Narayana, Satya Narayana,
Narayana,
Narayana, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhut Druvani Tirmatir Mama. Radharamana Mukunda Murare
Sharanam me tava charana yugam
Pavana Puresha Radha Krishna Sharanam me
tava charana yugam
Devi Maheshwari Parvati Shankari Sharanam me Tava Charana Yugam Chotane Kara Varum Devi Sharanam me Tava Charana Yugam Radharamana Mukunda Murare Sharanam me Tava
आरती कुंज बिहारी की, श्री गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की। आरती कुंज बिहारी की, श्री गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की। गले में वैजंती माला, बजावे मुरली मधुर बाला। श्रवण में कुंडल झलकाला, नंद के नंद श्री आनंद कंद। मोहन ब्रज चंद्र राधिका रमन बिहारी की, श्री गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की। आरती कुंज बिहारी की, श्री गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की। गगन समयंग कांति काली, राधिका चमक रही आली। लतन में ठाड़े वनमाली, भ्रमर सी अलक कस्तूरी तिलक। चंद्र सी झलक ललित छवि श्यामा प्यारी की, श्री गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की। आरती कुंज बिहारी की, श्री गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव,
त्वमेव बन्धुश्च
सखा त्वमेव,
त्वमेव विद्या
द्रविणं त्वमेव,
त्वमेव सर्वं
मम देव देव।
कायेन वाचा
मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा
बुद्ध्यात्मना वा
प्रकृते स्वभावात्
करोमि यद्यत्
सकलं परस्मै
नारायणायेति
समर्पयामि,
नारायणायेति
समर्पयामि।
विना वेङ्कटेशं ननाथो ननाथः, सदा वेङ्कटेशं स्मरामि स्मरामि। हरे वेङ्कटेश प्रसीद प्रसीद, प्रियं वेङ्कटेश प्रयच्छ प्रयच्छ। अज्ञानिना मया दोषान् शेषान् विहितान् हरे, क्षमस्वत्वं क्षमस्वत्वं शेषशैलशिखामणे। श्रियकान्ताय कल्याणनिधये निधयेऽर्थिनाम्, श्रीवेङ्कटनिवासाय श्रीनिवासाय मङ्गलम्। मङ्गलाशासनपरैर्मदाचार्यपुरोगमैः सर्वैश्च पूर्वैराचार्यैः सत्कृतायास्तु मङ्गलम्।